Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Yo, what's good, man? Y'all already know. Thanks for joining us again for another episode with the Ramblin Mob, of course, I'm your boy David.
Yeah, and this is Brian.
Yeah, via satellite telephone, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, we got the stomach bug over here and shit.
That boy got that vid. That boy he got the vid.
He ain't got the vid.
Nah, he ain't got no vid. Ain't no playing the games over there. Nah, but yeah, man. First thing, we're gonna jump right into it, man. Right into it, fresh off. I done seen it like 2-3 times already. Man, it's hard. It's still kind of hard for me to kind of, pick round by round, but ultimately it ended the way it did. So it's all good. Makes my job, everybody else's job easy to predict that fight. We gonna jump right into it, man. Canelo and Saunders.
You said predict.
Yeah.
Didn't I predict it wasn't gonna go past 9?
You did, bro. And I kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to you, bro. You did that shit. So but go into it, man. I'm gonna let you go ahead and touch on it first, and I'm gonna go ahead and get on it after that.
Yeah, I was at the fight actually live. I think it was like 74,000 people there.
Yeah,
the energy was crazy throughout the entire fight, man. It was dope. I went to the weigh-ins as well the day before, and it was just as crazy there too. I actually ran into a lot of, I guess you could say UK people or whatever, and I was asking them like, well, who are you for? A lot of them were telling me Canelo, but I don't know if they were telling me that because they were around a group full of Mexicans or whatever. But if you're going for a fighter, you got to go for the fighter that you want. It doesn't matter who
right.
You're around.
That's right.
But to me, I thought Canelo was, winning the fight before the fight got stopped. I had it 5 rounds to 3. He broke him down pretty much. I think once Billy Joe Saunders felt the power, he kind of, I won't say he got on his bike, but he definitely, tried to stay clear of the power. It was, and like I said, I think Canelo improved against southpaws. He looked very comfortable in there against the tricky southpaw in Billy Joe Saunders, because any real boxing fan that sees Billy Joe Saunders fight could definitely see that he's a tricky southpaw and that it's kind of hard to touch him. Obviously you're going to miss. That's what boxing's all about. But Canelo was landing a lot of power punches on him too. So I don't know, man. To me, Canelo's not going to lose anymore, and Saturday night proved it.
Yeah, man. I agree. I think he fought well against the southpaw, but I think he just fought well against Billy Joe in particular. I think he kind of knew his game plan going in. You can tell from the jump, man. He was looking for that one punch, that uppercut. It looks like his camp. They knew that was the punch that could end it. He knew that, the way he was ducking and dodging and weaving them punches, he knew that was the punch that was going to land. He was trying for it the entire fight.
Yeah, he timed it.
Yeah, he did. He landed it really, really, really good in the 4th. A lot of people gave Saunders the 4th round. I thought maybe that round would have went either way. At first, I was predicting. I was thinking the 6th round was the one that was kind of up there. I think Canelo won the 6th round. I think the 4th round could have went either way. I think that punch put an exclamation point on that round for Canelo, because I think at that point he Saunders felt him, and he felt that power again, and and because I think Canelo won the 2, 3, and 4 rounds and 6. I thought it was close in the 8th. I thought before the punch, definitely before the punch. Before the punch, I thought Saunders was gaining momentum in that round. But 1, 5, and 7. 1 was kind of a up in the air. That was a feeling out, but I give it slight edge to Saunders just because, he was a little bit more active. Not saying much though, but he was a little bit more active as far as throwing, and things like that. Canelo was throwing. It looked like he wasn't really throwing with power a lot. They say that he threw power punches. I think 5 that he landed.
Well, they said I sent you that.
Yeah.
What is it? The copy box or whatever.
Yeah.
And it actually showed. I mean, obviously you can't go off of that because it's been known that shit's not true. But if it was true, I think with these type of fights it is true because they're not as fast as like the 135 fighters and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it shows that Billy Joe Saunders didn't land as much as Canelo did in round 1. So if if you go off of that, then obviously you got to give round 1 to Canelo.
True. And like I said, and we've had this conversation, me and you, before. It's hard to kind of judge these fighters in these fights, just because there's a lot of things that people can go off of, not necessarily just following the rules and point counts and things like that, but you also have to look at momentum, the way the fight's going, round by round. I hate to say it, man. I really do hate to say it because it has nothing to do with the fight at all. But the way the crowd gets into it, people also judge around by that. Because nobody was there for Saunders. Nobody was there for Saunders. Every time
there was a few.
But I'm saying the majority of the crowd, like as far as like when a punch gets landed, the crowd wasn't going crazy until Canelo was the one connecting. And
everything that he threw, the crowd was going wild, which is stupid because I hate whenever they do that shit.
Right. I mean, it is. I mean, it's boxing. It's a sport, But I think a lot of people judge stuff based off that.
Off of that.
Yeah. Exactly. So, like I said, I think Saunders won 1, 5, and 7. I think he was ahead before the punch in the 8th round. I thought he was gaining momentum in that round. But like I said, like I told you before, I never thought Canelo was in trouble at all in this fight. When he landed the uppercut in the 4th round, that 4th round was kind of hard because Saunders also landed a body shot, hook to the head combo that was really, really, I thought it was a really, really nice combo on Canelo, and Canelo didn't even see it coming. And that was an awesome, combo for Saunders. But like I said, when he landed that uppercut, when Canelo landed that uppercut, I think he felt it. Saunders felt it, and it kind of threw him off, but he bounced right back in the 5th, and I think he won the 5th. The 6th was, back and forth. I think Canelo pulled it off. I think he was a little bit more aggressive in the 6th than I originally saw. I had to watch it a couple of times, and then I think Saunders came back and won the 7th going into that 8th round. I thought it was close. A lot of people had Saunders only winning 2 rounds. I give him the benefit of that. I give him a 3rd round. I had him a little bit ahead on the 8th round until the mighty punch that broke his face, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. I mean, I like it, but again, I didn't think Canelo was in any trouble at all. I thought he was just waiting, picking, sitting back and timing that punch because he knew that punch was going to come. And man, when he hit it, it was glorious. And just like I told you, it was kind of funny because if you look after that punch, when Saunders kind of goes back and steps back some, and they get back into the middle of the ring, Canelo's like looking over the ref's shoulder, like looking at his face. And I think Canelo already knew it was over right then and there. He knew it was over.
Yeah, he said that he felt it. Yeah, it broke or whatever.
Yeah, he knew it was over. Like he knew immediately when he hit it, and then when he saw his face, he knew it was over. And
he didn't even sit down going into the 9th round.
Yeah, he knew it, man. And another thing too, it's funny because Saunders I think he threw one jab and got countered toward the end of the 8th, and I think it was because of course, obviously he couldn't see out of that eye. So he didn't want to throw a punch and maybe get knocked out because he knows his power. But once he threw it, he got countered and he just continued to do what he was doing right immediately after that punch landed. And that was just grab, hold, and pretty much, survive the round because, he wasn't going to get out of that round. And I don't think he was going to throw another punch that was going to do any kind of damage or what. I mean, he wasn't really damaging Canelo at all in the fight. There was some good shots that he landed, but a lot of them were just peppering shots, a lot of jab work. And like you said earlier, he was making Canelo miss a lot. And more, I've never really seen Canelo miss a lot like that, since probably the Mayweather fight. I know he missed quite a few against Triple G, but
he missed against Lara too.
Oh,
but that's because Lara was literally running.
Yeah, I mean, I forget about that fight. Honestly, I always forget about that fight because I think a couple of people, brought Lara's name up again. I overlooked that fight. I'm sorry, but yeah. With that being said, man. We got a little technical difficulties, man. But we're going into this. We're going into the fight after the Canelo fight. The fight after the Canelo fight, man. The Canelo fight in Saunders.
Hey, did you hear me? I lost it.
Yeah, yeah. We got you back, man. A little technical difficulties. That's how it is when you doing this little via satellite phone. You know what I'm saying? But no, what I was mentioning was post fight now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Andrade, man. I mean, pretty much that's what sets up, man. What I really want to kind of get into next is what's next for Canelo. And I mean, if you want to throw it in there, what's next for Saunders? Like, what can he do to kind of get back into this thing? He was undefeated going into that fight, 30-0. Now he's 30-1. So, what would be next for both fighters?
Obviously, for Canelo, he's going to fight Caleb Plant, hopefully, and because I think it's been said, or Caleb Plant was talking to somebody, and it seems like he's going to kind of outprice himself. So I hope that doesn't happen because. That'll be the third time that he pulls out of the Canelo fight. But people don't want to fucking mention that he's ducking him. But that's here nor there. So if that doesn't happen, I would like to see him fight David Benavidez. That's in the same weight class. Yeah. But if for Billy Joe Saunders, I would like to see him fight. I don't know, like maybe Triple G.
So you see him going down in weight then?
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Let's see. I would like to see him fight. I would like to see him fight Caleb Plant.
Yeah, and that was, you pulled it right out of my mouth, man. Honestly, I was just about to ask you that. Depending on what's up with Plant and Canelo, let's say Canelo goes a different way. Let's say that fight doesn't, pan out between them two. Do you see a Plant and Saunders fight? Maybe, that Saunders is kind of way back into it. I mean, would it be? I mean, of course, if he wins that title, would it be a stalemate? Would he fight Canelo again? Some people will say it because how people had it close. Even though it really wasn't. On the score.
I don't think they would ever need to fight again, just because I mean, if it went to decision, then yes. But since he, didn't come out of the corner, no.
Right. I mean, that's actually just speaking if Saunders even comes back. An audible bone break, man, that's going to be hard to come back from. But I think he has. I mean, he has good skill. It's just Canelo's just another tier up above all the other competition, man. But that doesn't take nothing away from Saunders. Saunders is actually, he landed some pretty good shots on Canelo. Like I said, points were there for him, rounds were there for him. But if there is a Caleb Plant fight with Canelo, what's the pros and cons, man? What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Good. I mean, what's the pros and cons on that fight for either fighter?
I mean, there's no cons for Canelo.
Oh, come on, but non-biased. I mean, okay, hold on. Actually,
it's not being biased. That's just that's stating facts. Sure.
Okay, I agree. But I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm glad you actually brought that no cons on Canelo, and I told you before, the way Canelo was fighting against Saunders, how he was kind of sitting back and waiting for that punch. I think that opened up a lot of opportunities for Saunders to make his move, to get points, to win rounds. And for whatever reason, if that punch never landed, and let's say, it went 12. If the fight was, going the way it was, where he was just sitting back and waiting and trying to capitalize on an opportunity that probably wasn't there or wasn't going to be there, and Saunders was sitting back and just tagging him and winning these rounds, round after round, and it went to decision, that is a con to me. That's a con on Canelo's part, on his strategy. Now, of course, only he knows his skill set and the way he's going to fight and so on and so forth. So he probably had more confidence. Obviously, he had more confidence. He had more game plan than I do, of course. But I see it as like maybe if that punch never landed and it went further along in the fight, you would have left it up to the judges, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because it shows that you're not a finisher, especially on somebody like that. Now, of course, they would have been like, oh, well, he was a champion. He was undefeated. But everybody knows, just watching these fighters, the skill level and the expectation that Canelo brings, it shouldn't have been a fight that should have went 12, in my eyes. Just because I think at this point now going forward, Canelo is great, and he is going to be one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I think that also played into the way he was doing it, how he was sitting back and letting Caleb, capitalize. That also
Saunders.
Or yeah, Caleb. I'm sorry. Yeah, Saunders capitalized. That also, kind of opened the eyes to a lot of these judges as well. That's why a lot of them were giving Saunders round after round, just because of that. Just because, Canelo was sitting back and waiting for it. And so I think his strategy was good because he knew he was going to do it, but it opened up opportunities for Saunders. And that could be a problem later on. But like I said, he knows his skill set. He knows he knows what he's doing in there. I'm definitely no one to judge, but just from an outsider.
Well, the only thing with that is everybody knows Canelo he can't take no rounds off in boxing, but he does pick it up after the sixth round. Sixth round on up, he picks it up because he's already figured the fighter out. So, that's whenever, he could win like 2 or 3, and then after that, then that's where he's picking it up. 2 or 3 or more, and that's exactly what was happening. If you look at the fight, you could see that he was holding back a little bit, but then come round 6, 7, and 8, that's whenever he picked it up. Obviously, picked it up even more. So, I think he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing too. Looking at it strategically wise, yeah, he knows what he's doing in there. He goes in there with the game plan and he fulfills it. But like I said, I'm kind of being like the devil advocate here. Like that is what brings the conversation in as far as did Canelo lose rounds. I think that opened the conversation of that he could lose rounds because the way he was, strategically going into these round by round, especially him waiting and sitting back and waiting for that punch. It opened up opportunities. Saunders came in and on some of them rounds, and he was being more active. He was, making Canelo miss some. Yes, that's boxing. And that, again, we can talk about that all day long. As far as, this is a boxing ring, you're in there not to get hit, not to sit there and be a punching bag for your opponent. So, but with that being said, man, going back into this pros and cons of a possible Caleb Plant fight, hopefully, like you said as well, hopefully that is the fight that's next. That division definitely needs a unification between Canelo and Plant. I'm hoping boxing politics don't drive that fight into.
Well, Canelo's a free agent now. Canelo's a free agent, so he could go to PBC and sign like a 1-fight deal, 2-fight deal, whatever the case may be, or he could, sign another 2-fight contract with Eddie Hearn and DAZN, and they could come with agreement with PBC to have the fight on DAZN or Fox pay-per-view or whatever. So, I mean, we'll probably hear about that here within the next couple of months on where Canelo is going to be signing. But yeah, Saturday was his last fight, in quotes, with the DAZN on his contract. So he might sign with, if he signs with PBC, that'll be good. Like, let's say he signs a 3-fight deal with PBC, he'll be able to fight Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, and Charlo.
So do you probably see that that's his next fight? Do you think that's why he kind of squashed these last 2 or 3 fights? I think it was 3 fights that he fought. 2 fights I know back to back within a 75-day 75-day span, I believe. Because I mean, he didn't
like that.
Yeah. So do you think he kind of just ran through these last couple of fights so he can go ahead and end that relationship with DAZN, so he can be a free agent? And
no, because he became a free agent once he left Golden Boy, and he left DAZN, quote unquote. Whenever he left Golden Boy, he became a free agent, but then that's whenever he signed that 2-fight deal with 2-fight or 3-fight deal. I think it was a 2-fight deal, something like that, with DAZN.
Yeah, that was because the whole contract dispute went to court. Okay, yeah. But yeah, okay. So I mean, what it sounds like, man, it sounds like PBC would be a perfect landing spot for him to kind of go and finish off whoever's left in that division.
Finish off the 168.
Yeah, whoever's left in that division. I mean, and then Charlo, him being undefeated,
he would have to move up.
Right,
no, he would have to move up.
Yeah, he'll definitely have to move up. But he is undefeated. Him running through that weight class, I mean, there's still a lot of good fighters and fights that could be made in that division that he's reigning king.
Well, he only has 1 title.
Oh yeah, that is true.
160. Yeah. His brother has all the titles except for one at 154. But so he would need a fight. The thing with that is Andrade and Charlo are begging for a Canelo fight. The thing that they want is pretty much what Canelo was saying, payday, you want payday, like in his little accent. But that's what both of them want. They want a big payday because they know that's what they're going to get with Canelo. But what I don't get is, why don't both of them move up to 168, or both of them fight at 160, the winner move up to 168, or hell, after that, both of them move up to 168, and then fight a David Benavidez, and then whoever wins out of that fights Canelo.
That is, I mean, that's good. I mean, I like that. I like that idea. But speaking of Benavidez, what would be next for him? I believe he does have a fight coming up.
Yeah, he has a fight in August, I believe.
Yeah,
something like that.
barring any setback on that fight, what do you see him doing? Because he's the one that's in everybody's mouth, as far as talking about the upper echelon in this weight class. That's a non-title holder. So what do you think? What do you think's next for Benavidez after that, or what do you think what he should do? Do you think maybe a Saunders Benavidez should be something?
That'll be a good fight.
Okay,
that'll be a good fight. Yeah. So David Benavidez fights on the 28th of August. August 28th.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to see him fight. Billy Joe Saunders. That'll be a good fight. Who else is at 168? I don't even know, man.
How about this? How about I throw this at you? Like you said, if Canelo is a free agent, and let's say it's going to take a couple of months, or maybe the rest of the year, who knows? I doubt it, but let's say it kind of goes on a little bit longer than what everybody expects. Like again, barring any setback from David Benavidez's next fight, do you probably see him going against a Caleb Plant? Maybe
I want to see David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight, but I see David Benavidez winning that fight.
Okay. Well, I mean, and would that set up, probably the fight that I think everybody wants to see, and that is Canelo and Benavidez. Like I told you, the last one, I think Benavidez, he is young, but I think he has the skill set that would give Canelo problems. He's long. He's lanky,
I wouldn't mind seeing David Benavidez versus a Daniel Jacobs. I forgot Jacobs is at 168.
Yeah, he is. He lost that. He lost the fight. He started kind of slipping out of everybody's minds, but he's still up there. I mean, but yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good fight. Do you honestly think maybe Benavidez needs more under his belt? Like let's not.
He has a better resume. He has a better resume than Caleb Plant.
But I mean, yeah, okay. With that being said, then do you think maybe that Caleb Plant needs something, a little bit more under his belt before he fights a Canelo?
Yeah, for sure he does.
Because I think right now what it is Canelo is showing everybody that he is the cash cow, like Mayweather was. Mayweather was fighting, So Mayweather was fighting a lot of these guys. Some of them old, some of them young, but that takes nothing away from Mayweather. And of course, I'm going to take a lot of crap for that. A lot of Mayweather haters saying that he runs and all that. Again, this is a boxing ring. You're not supposed to stand in front of your opponent and get hit. This is not about who could take the punch. I mean, if you could take a punch, that's great, but it's not
me not being a Mayweather fan. He doesn't run. He just doesn't get hit. The person that ran was Lara whenever he fought Canelo.
Right.
That's running.
Yeah. So like you said, everybody's looking for Canelo fight to, try to get a payday and things like this. I think boxing as a whole should kind of sit back and kind of, I know promotions and things like this, they all get involved. I mean, they're all involved into making these fights. But I think a Benavidez Canelo fight is way too early in Benavidez's career to make that fight happen. I think it will stunt Benavidez if they fight. And I don't want that, man. I think Benavidez will be a good fighter. He's kind of cocky, but I don't know if he'll be one of those guys where he loses that fight and he comes back stronger. I think it'll get into his head a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just kind of see him as that guy that I think it'll get into his head. Speaking of getting into his head, what about Caleb Plant, man? Do you think maybe a fight with Canelo is probably in his head? Maybe it's something that he probably really don't want.
You talking about Caleb Plant versus Canelo?
Yeah.
I don't think he wants that just because he knows he's going to lose.
So I mean, but think about it, man. If you're one of these fighters, and you're holding a title, and there's a unification bout right in the corner, and you know you're not going to do that. I mean, are you going to sit there and run to try to keep your legacy going, even if you want to call it a legacy?
You don't have a legacy yet.
As far as being a title, as far as being a title holder, you know, I mean, would that be a notch, you know, on his record, on his status, because he's not trying
with him losing to Canelo?
Well, not even trying to unify that belt, or unify that class by, you know, being.
I think it will just because he's already been offered 2 times to fight Canelo and he's turned him down both times. So if he gets offered a 3rd time and turns it down, then it's definitely going to be like, yo, like, why the fuck even have a belt? Like, that belt could either be on David Benavidez or let's say Daniel Jacobs, or something, you know, just so Canelo could have it.
Yeah,
he's gonna get it.
I mean, he should get it. I mean, I think there's nobody in that class that can even match him right now.
The only one that would give him a good fight would be David Benavidez, and at that, I still think Canelo schools him.
Yeah,
not schools him, but he'll beat him.
Yeah, I mean, he's too young. He's still wet behind the ears, man. I think he's a greenhorn. I mean, he still needs to get a little bit more under his belt, get a little bit older, you know, get a little bit more wiser, you know, grab some of that wisdom, coming to fight some of these fights and being in some wars like a lot of these other guys have. And then I think he'll probably be ready for that fight. I think it'll be a great fight. I really do think that's a great fight. And hopefully it does happen, man. Well, yeah, man. I mean, do you want to add anything on Canelo before we kind of jump into our hip hop segment with J. Cole's album right around the corner?
Let's see. Somebody did say that they wanted to have a question, or do you want to just save the questions for later?
Either way, man. I mean, if you want to go ahead and answer it now, or talk about it now.
It was somebody said my friend Jose Polito. Who do we want Canelo to fight next? Which we already pretty much. I think we pretty much covered that. Either Plant, Charlo, or Benavidez, or another guy. I want to see him fight Plant, Benavidez, and then Charlo. Just because he's, get the title at 168, have all of them, then defend him against Benavidez, then defend him against Charlo.
Yeah, I think that's a great order for it to go in. Barring Charlo jumping up early, or jumping up before. Maybe he wants to jump up and challenge, Canelo after a possible Plant fight with Canelo. Maybe Charlo wants to jump up and challenge Canelo then. Do you see that bypassing a Benavidez fight?
I don't know. It could.
I mean, I also think I would say no. I would not want it to go that way. Just because I wouldn't want to put Benavidez in the back burner because of a big fight like that. Even though Canelo has nothing to prove, Canelo's Canelo. But I think, giving Benavidez a shot and then that showing, getting one unification bout out of the way, being a unified champion, defending a unified title against an up and comer, and then fighting the guy that's jumping up weight class, I think that's the way to go. I don't want to unify, then fight the guy jumping up, and then fighting the guy that, should have got the title shot before the other guy. But that's good. I mean, if there's any other questions out there on that?
Not on that.
Okay. All right, well, man, let's go right into it, man. Let's jump into this hip hop segment, man. Of course, man, I gotta talk about this, bro. That freestyle, that LA Leakers from Power 106, my bad. Power 106, man. That J. Cole freestyle. Man, promoting his album coming up. I forgot the name of his album.
The Fall Off.
Yeah, there it is. Man, first of all, let's go ahead and just give our reaction for that freestyle and what is our expectation for that album, man. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and let you touch on it first.
The freestyle you know.
Yo, hey, look, if y'all haven't checked out that J. Cole freestyle, man, L.A. Leakers at Power 105, man, you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, he goes on the 93 till infinity beat and the still tipping beat.
Yeah, man. Hey, honestly, man, he hit the still tipping beat way different than I expected that he would. And I like it, man. I like it. I mean, at first, when he first started, I was like, okay, it's gonna be interesting because it really didn't go with the beat. He kind of spit it kind of fast, but man, it fit perfect, man. I think it was good. I really do, man. I really do. Overall, I thought both freestyles were fire. Man, I'm truly excited to check out this album, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, my expectations are high, sky high. And I don't want to be disappointed, man. And I might be trying to set myself up for disappointment, man, because I think it's so high, you know. But I mean, I have faith in J. Cole, man. I like his style, like the way he raps, like what he raps about. Man. And I'm just no words, bro. Right now, I can't wait. This is gonna air Friday, so it's gonna actually be dropping today. The day this podcast airs on that Friday on was it May 14th? And it's gonna go down, man. I can't wait to hear it. And I really wish we could do a follow up on a Saturday so we could talk about this album, man. But you know, it is what it is. We'll talk about it next week on our on episode 3. But yeah, what do you think about J. Cole, man? I mean, what do you expect on this album? You know,
I think the album's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a classic. I'm ready for it. I mean, I was hoping a Kendrick album was gonna drop last Friday, but we just got a single, which I wasn't really too much of a fan of from Isaiah Rashad. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. So there's that on the TDE aspect, but the J. Cole thing, yeah, for sure, I'm definitely looking forward to that. You know, I'm probably gonna sit on the album for I don't know, probably a whole week just dissecting the album. That's how I usually listen to my albums. You know, just to catch whatever I didn't catch the first few listens.
Yeah. I mean, of course, he's not gonna come with bars like or like, you know, them punches like M, where you got to dissect that shit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, you're still like, oh shit, I missed that bar, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's never gonna be nothing like that. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna sit on that, check that out too. The exact same way. Like I said, man, as far as expectations, man, instant classic. And that'll be great, man. I think that'll be awesome if he can drop an instant classic album. You know, something that's going to get radio play or that's going to get.
I think I called the thing wrong. It's the off season.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what I said?
I think that's what you said. Oh man, I don't even remember.
I think I said the fall off.
Yeah,
I don't remember, but it's the off season.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was something crazy, some crazy shit like that. And it's funny that he calls his album the off season. And, you know, I did post on TikTok, you know, a question pretty much like, you know, he just signed a 3 to 6 game deal in Africa, man, at the BAL league, the African league out there, man. I believe I don't know if their inaugural season or what it is, but yeah, man, you know, he is 36. You know what I'm saying? He is kind of old up there in age. But dude can ball, man. He can hoop. And I asked everybody, you know, would you do you think that maybe this is his only shot at being in pro ball? Or do you see him, you know,
he's trying to pull a Master P?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Do you think he's gonna pull a Master P and, you know, get into the NBA, you know, practice squad or something, you know, D League or G League now? But I mean, do you think, you know, I know he's 36 years old. I mean, it's kind of tough.
What I think he needs to worry about is making fucking music.
But
Fuck the NBA.
But you can't deny someone's passion. You know, like if they
Well, that's
really,
true.
really
But
feel,
if that's the case, then Cameron needs to go into it. Dave East needs to go into it.
that's true.
Like, come on, dog. Like, y'all are rappers. You know, y'all made it in rapping. Not saying that they're not good basketball players, but y'all made it in rapping. So just stick to rapping.
So you think that's this little pickup game that he had with Trae Young and all these other guys, that it was just we know he's J. Cole, so we're gonna go ahead and let him get these open shots.
Yeah, I mean, because you could think there's people that are on YouTube that have YouTube channels that are good. They ain't playing with Trae Young and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean,
shit like me, you can't see me on the b-ball court. You know what I'm saying? Boy, be crossing people like hot sauce. They call me Valentine.
Boy, be trying to cross dudes like multiplication, huh?
Hell yeah, can't catch me, boy.
But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, it's funny, you know, that we kind of talk about that because, like I said, man, I really want to dive in. I really want to dive into this
motherfucking playoff.
Yes, sir, bro. This NBA playoff race, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do real quick. There's a couple of more.
Well, you covered the West. You covered the West last week. Let's cover the East before we get into anything else.
Yeah, I will cover the East. I'm gonna go down the playoff picture right now, or not really the playoff picture, but there's a couple of games left in the season, so the season's not quite over yet. So there's still some movements being made. There's still some seedings that kind of need to be, you know, figured out. But currently, right now, as it stands, and of course this is going to change today because I think a lot of the majority of games are played on Friday. But right now, man, in the East, 76ers sit up front. They sit up top, number 1 seed. They're 47-22. The Nets are second, 46-26, or 24 actually. Bucks are third at 44-25. Hawks 39-31. Heat 38-31. And the Knicks are 38-31. That's 1 through 6, and they're all clinched. So that's the top 6 seeds. Them are automatically going to be in the playoffs.
Damn, the Knicks are in the playoffs.
Knicks, bro. Actually, the Celtics lost, man. And another thing, we were going to go into the injuries, man. And I think what's going to hurt the Celtics, that they sit at 500 right now, 35-35. They're currently a game and a half or 2 games up on the Hornets for the 8th spot. Jaylen Brown is out for 3 months, and he's having reconstructive surgery on his left wrist. So I think that's a huge blow for the Celtics and their title hopes. Of course, they still got some pieces, but man, Jaylen Brown's a huge piece that they need if they're looking at for their championship aspirations, man. But yeah, they are sitting at 7. Hornets are at 8. Like I said, Pacers and Wizards top out the top 10. You got the Bulls at 29-40. They're 2 games behind the Wizards. Wizards need a complete breakdown. They need a complete, losing back-to-back games, and the Bulls need to win the next 2 in order to try to win that 10th spot. They're slightly ahead. 1 loss, and they're eliminated.
And Westbrook's with Washington, right?
Westbrook they're with Washington. So I mean, the East and the West, they kind of look similar. With there's only one team on the outside looking in. They're both 2 games back, and it's a slight chance for them to get in. And 1 loss, and they're eliminated.
And speaking of Westbrook, didn't he break? Whose was it? Oscar Robinson's record?
Yeah, he sure did. He is
just the other day.
Yeah, he's the all-time triple doubles leader, man. And that congratulates to him, man. I like Westbrook, man. I think he deserves it. He's a baller.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He looks like an Ninja Turtle, but it's all good.
He does, and man, he can't dress for shit. But man, he has a lot of classic, interviews that will go down in history, man. That are crazy, bro. I mean, he takes a lot. He takes a bad rap, man, for being a a bad teammate or whatever. But the thing is, man, I mean, it's not like he's selfish with the ball. You can't average a triple double and be selfish, man. Honestly, you really can't. And I don't care what anybody says. If you're averaging double digit assists, there's no way that you're being selfish. So
Exactly.
I mean, if people don't like his his personality or whatnot, and that's why they're calling him a bad teammate, man, then maybe they need to go back to high school, man, and learn how to be a teammate again, man, because that stuff happens. You're not a teammate.
For sure.
You're not a teammate just because their personality is great. You're a teammate because y'all a team. At the end of the day, y'all a family, and y'all gotta stick by each other no matter what. But of course, everybody gets heated in the competition, level and competition aspects of the game. But yeah, man, that's the East. With that being said, man, there's a cut. Like I said, I really truly think maybe the Sixers hold on to that top spot. Like I said, they're about a game and a half up on the Nets right now. Bucks are about a couple of games behind them. Another game and a half. But I think the top 6 seeds, man, I think they're going to be pretty cool, like pretty close. They might kind of shift a little bit here and there. I'm not looking at the full schedule.
But nobody's actually clinched the division.
Actually, yeah. Only one team.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee has.
Yes, the Bucks have clinched the division. On the other side, I mean, and the rest of the 6 seeds, or the 5 other seeds, they all clinched the playoffs. They haven't clinched the division. So the Bucks, technically, and the Jazz are the only the 2 teams that clinched the division. The Mavericks have, but technically, because the Lakers are only a game behind, they're not giving it to them yet because of the play-in series, and that's what I think it is. Is because of the play-in series. If the Lakers lose one game, then that automatically clinches a playoff spot for the Blazers and the Mavericks, and it clinches the division for the Mavericks. But right now, Blazers and Mavericks are tied at the 5th and 6th spots respectively at 41 and 29. Lakers are at 7 at 40 and 30. 1 through 4 in the West, Jazz, Sun, Clippers, Nuggets, all clinched. They're all clinched. And maybe Clippers and Nuggets, have a chance to kind of, switch spots there. Jazz and Sun pretty much locked up at 1 and 2 for sure. There are 2 games in between, and I don't see the Jazz, losing another game. But speaking of that, another injury on the Jazz front. Donovan Mitchell's with an ankle injury. He's out for the rest of the regular season. Mike Conley is going to be out versus Portland, which I think they play Friday. They might be playing Thursday. I'm not sure. But that's a crucial game. Like I said, if the Blazers win, I think that's an automatic clincher for their playoff hopes, and they'll be clinched at the 5th seed. Both the Mavericks and the Blazers hold the tiebreaker against the Lakers. Lakers are reeling; they're struggling right now. They're at 7. Warriors are behind them, but they're not gonna catch the Lakers. They're 3 games back. So Lakers are pretty much in a spot where they own and control their own destiny to a point where they have to win out, and they have to hope for some help with Blazers and Mavericks losing a game or so, or 2 games.
So today, let's see, the Lakers aren't playing, and tomorrow they aren't playing either. So Saturday they have to play. They play the Pacers.
Yeah, and Pacers are the 9th seed in the East, and they have a chance to kind of jump up and stay away from that 10th spot. So they have a chance to jump up at least to the 8th spot. Swapping spots with the Hornets right now. But you being a Spurs fan, man, I want to get into it. Right now, currently the way it sits, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is Lakers, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Spurs. Kings are the other team that are, like I mentioned before, like the Bulls on the East. They still have a mathematical chance of getting in if the Spurs lose the next two games and the Kings win their last two games. They have a chance to jump up and get that final 10 spot. One win by the Spurs clinches. So I truly think Spurs are going to make it into the playoffs, and I hate it. I love it, then I hate it because, playoffs are always good when the Spurs are there. Of course, this ain't the old Spurs, but
I was about to say, come on now.
This ain't the old Spurs, but it's the Spurs nonetheless, man. Their fan base is huge, especially in the state of Texas, even in the Dallas area. They're huge out here. And it's terrible because you go to San Antonio, there ain't no Mavericks fans in San Antonio, but there's Mavericks fans in Dallas. Or there's Spurs fans in Dallas, man. That's terrible. I hate it. But, me being a Mavericks fan, I'm always going to rep, we going to the championship. We going to win it all this year. No, I'm just playing. But do you see the Spurs, man? Do you see them, you see them holding on? I know you were talking about it before. You said last week they weren't going to make it, so.
I don't think they're going to make it.
So you think they'll lose in this play-in series?
I think so.
Okay.
That's just me being realistic.
Yeah, and
I mean we're winning right now, which is Thursday. We're winning 61-54 right now in the third quarter, but we're playing the Knicks. But I mean, I guess I can't say that anymore because the Knicks are in the playoffs.
They actually have a better record than the Spurs. So,
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that's good though. I mean, like I said, you never know, man. Honestly, you never know. I think the Spurs got a lot of proof. They're a young team, or some of them are young. I think they'll be I think they could be a great team going forward. There are a lot of hungry guys, man. DeJounte Murray is I think he's outstanding, man. Honestly, I think that's a good building piece for the future for that team.
And he's getting better as the years go by.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, I mean, I think, there's a great chance for the Spurs to kind of get in there and, kind of muddy the waters a little bit. I don't think they have what it takes to, win a series in the playoffs. But, nobody expects it, man. I mean, that's what this whole play-in series is about, is giving the chance for these teams that wouldn't have made it the year before or, in the past, they haven't given them a chance to kind of show them if they can actually, get in the playoffs. With the Lakers being in the state that they're in, I really, truly think that they probably will kind of pull it off. I wouldn't be surprised just because of the hobbling injuries that the Lakers are going through right now. But, man, I don't see the Lakers winning a first-round series. I think they're going to get eliminated in the first round, man. I think age.
I hope they do. I hope they do, and I hope the Nets do.
The Nets on the other side, I mean, the Nets, they do have a couple of guys out. No biggie. Chioza and Dinwiddie, but, who gives a shit?
Like I said, once you get into playoffs, it's a different thing. So I hope both of those teams lose, just so we could have basketball back. Yeah,
no, I hear you, man. I hear you. But real quick, kind of run through a little bit more of these injuries going into the playoffs. The Wizards, Bradley Beal's out. He's going to be out versus the Cavs. This next game, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Of course, JJ Redick, he has a heel problem. He's going to miss the rest of the regular season. Not really helping the Mavericks much, but he's still a great shooter. The Hornets, man. The Hornets right now sit at number 8, and they're hobbling in. They got Hayward out with the foot. He's not expected to play in the tournament at all. They're not looking at him being ready for it. Miles Bridges is out right now with COVID-19 protocol, and Cody Martin's out right now with an ankle injury. So that's going to hurt some of their, hopefully they can get Miles Bridges back and help their chances in that play-in tournament. But the Kings right now, they're sitting 2 games out of the last spot on the Spurs, and man, they're flooded with injuries. They got Buddy Hield out. He's probable actually with an ankle injury. He's probable against the Grizzlies, which they sit at the 9th spot. De'Aaron Fox is out with COVID. Barnes and Bagley are both Bagley's doubtful. Barnes is unlikely. both dealing with growing injuries. And Woodard, man, he's out with a back injury. That's tough, man. That's pretty much their whole squad, and they're trying to fight for that last playoff spot. And it's a must win against the Grizzlies to even try to gain any kind of momentum against the Spurs, trying to get that last spot. But like I was saying before, with that being said, who do you think is going to be coming out? Of course, we're going to be talking about this, as it goes on when the playoffs start heating up. But right now, before the playoffs start, who's your prediction, man, on the East and the West? Who do you see in the NBA Finals?
To go to the finals?
Yeah, to go to the finals.
Who do I want to see, or who do I think?
Like right now, like a pre-playoff prediction. Who do you think is going to make it right now? I mean, of course, a lot of it's going to change, and we're going to take this shit with a grain of salt, only because the play-in tournament hasn't even started. So we don't even have a top 8 seed. We don't even have the bracket filled out yet. So this is pretty much pre-play-in tournament, playing game, whatever the fuck they want to call that shit. This is before that. So this is kind of giving, I mean, we can make another prediction once we have the full schedule out. But based on the top 10 teams on each, I'll
say who I think is going to go and who I want to go.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'll give 2 answers.
Okay.
From the East, I think realistically, obviously the Nets. But from the East, I would like to see Giannis win a ring. And then from the West, it's going to be the Clippers, but I wouldn't mind seeing Dame get a title.
Who'd you say? Dame? Yeah. Oh, like Dame Dollar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Dame Dollar.
I thought you said Lou Dang. I was like, boy, get your ass out of here.
Lou Dang, boy.
I don't even think he's in the league still. Shit. Yeah. Boy, I'm about to get your ass. But I'm also going to go ahead and just throw that out there and give my predictions just like you did. Who do I want in the East? I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, I don't like the team. I mean, I liked them back in the day, but not really a fan of that team together right now. But I really, truly think the 76ers are gonna go. I think Embiid, besides him and Jokic, that's MVP 1A and 1B to me.
Yeah.
But I think 76ers are going to make it out of the East. I also would love to see the Bucks do it, man. I think Giannis is going to be that one guy besides, besides Doncic, that's going to be with their team forever.
Oh yeah, he proved that because he had the what's it called?
Yeah, he just signed that contract. So, I mean, I want to see. I like to see players like that win championships with the team that they devote their whole career to. They deserve it, man. They really do. So I think 76ers are going to make it. I'd rather have the Bucks do it, but I think 76ers are going to be a tough out, man. On the West,
yeah.
On the West. Oh man, that's tough. On the West, of course, I want the Mavericks to go. That's just
come on, man.
Period. But
we ain't talking about our team because if that's the case, I want the Spurs to win the sixth title so I can win I can get my motherfucking $100 from your ass.
Yeah, actually, we made a bet, y'all. Yeah, we made a bet that who's gonna win a title first right now with the teams that are currently assembled. The Mavericks or the Spurs. I say the Mavericks, of course, with Doncic. And he says Spurs with nobody. But I think the Mavericks, but we're not going to be biased here. We're not going to go all that. So the team that I actually think is going to go, I mean, I want Mitchell. Hopefully that ankle problem is not a problem. That's actually, that's gonna take him out of the entire playoffs, man. If Donovan Mitchell's in there and he's healthy, Jazz are gonna go all the way. I truly want the Suns to win. I think the Suns are a great team. I love Devin Booker, man. I think he's great. Chris Paul joining that team proved to everybody, man. Everybody that pretty much gave up on Chris Paul just proved that he still can be he's like, honestly, that Suns team kind of looks like the Mavericks team in 2011. They brought in an aging, point guard, and dude, they're making moves. They're actually looking dangerous. So yeah, man, I think the Jazz, if Mitchell's healthy, I think the Jazz are going to be a tough out. I really want the Suns to go to the championship, man. I really want them. I think that's a great team. I think
that's what I want.
League.
No.
I was gonna say I think it'll be great for the league. Besides Chris Paul, man, they pretty much they pretty much drafted their future, and I think that's the way the NBA should be. It should stay. I don't think we should assemble these super teams. Like you were speaking on before. I don't want that, man. It's bad for basketball. It really is. I'm a kid.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I want. I want to see Booker win a ring. I want to see, Dame win a ring. I want to see Donovan Mitchell win a ring. Ben Simmons, Embiid.
Yeah.
I want to see all of them win a ring. But with all these bullshit super teams, it's not going to fucking happen.
Yep. The Nets and the Clippers are the only teams right now in the top 3 on both divisions, on both conferences, that actually have teams assembled.
You said the Nets and the Clippers?
Yeah, in the top 3 seeds on both sides, the East and the West, they're the only 2 teams that actually have like a quote unquote super team made. All the other ones are pretty much homegrown talent that they've developed. They drafted, and things like that. So hopefully that's a sign to come, man. But I mean, that still gives a lot of teams, optimistic of, hey man, we can go and get all these players and assemble a team and just try to dominate everybody you play because you have the all-star squad. But then again, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Mavericks, went out and got somebody, to help Doncic, man, because KP, sorry man, he ain't it. That boy ain't it. I mean,
you talking about Porzingis?
Yeah, Kristaps. That boy ain't it, man. Like I don't think he's the piece.
Boy, whenever he came, you were saying that was y'all's future, that y'all were gonna win a ring because of it.
Boy, I think that boy had motherfucking breadsticks for fucking legs. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about the breadsticks that you get from Olive Garden. I'm talking about them them little crunchy little twig breadsticks, bro. I don't know what the fuck they call, but I call them breadsticks. Motherfucking little crunchy ass things where you can play pencil break with them hoes. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I mean, do you want to? I mean, that's pretty much all. That's all I have on this episode, man. You want to? Is there any questions out there from the fans? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to kind of touch on something that we can hit next week?
Well, there was a question from Oscar. He said to talk about the Cowboys. What's it called? Schedule and how easy of a cakewalk we have on Thanksgiving.
Hey, and that's actually something I did want to talk about too. The schedule is out, man. First game.
It's a pretty good one, but besides the first game, but we gonna fucking prove that we gonna win a motherfucking Super Bowl because we beating Tom Brady.
It is, man, and they do say, man, that it is an easy schedule, man. I see some tough games on here, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I do see some tough games. I mean, of course, we're gonna open the season on that Thursday, on September 9th, against the defending champs, the Bucks and Tom Brady. I would love to be at that game. My wife wants to go to Seattle. I don't know, man. I was trying to maybe talk to her See if we can go to
Going to
Tampa.
Tampa
Yeah,
instead?
let's go to Tampa. You know what I'm saying? I got to rep my boys. You know what I'm saying? And I would love. I mean,
Who?
I think,
Because you got a Tom Brady jersey. So who you talking about?
hey, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I mean, I got a man crush on Tom Brady. I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time, bar none.
Oh yeah, he is.
Ain't nobody better than him.
He can't see me in Madden now.
I can't see you in Madden. Last time I saw you in Madden, bro, I was winning, and I looked over. I was like, man, I know something's wrong, and you were passed out in the fucking chair, bro, just gone. And then you still end up picking me off, bro, like and doing a pick six off you, bro. That's why I don't play Madden, bro. That shit's cheating. But no, man. Going back into the schedule, it's tough, man. I mean, some people say it's an easy schedule. Some people say it's hard, man. But you know, when you have the Bucks, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Saints, the Cardinals, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what happens with Denver, you know, if they get Aaron Rodgers, man, that's another one on there. Of course, you know, I mean, there's the Saints, the Falcons as well. Got the Patriots. Of course, the dreaded Raiders, on Thanksgiving Day. Man, that's going to be a crazy-ass game. That's going to be a crazy-ass game.
Yeah.
Getting two of the rowdiest fan bases. A lot of fight. Rowdiest fan bases in the game, bruh. But, you know, besides, of course, some of these other ones, you know, like Pittsburgh and, I mean, not Philadelphia and things like this. But, man, the Raiders and the Cowboys fans together and on Thanksgiving at AT&T, bro, come on, bro. Like,
somebody's going to jail.
They better have cops. Boy, Arlington PD better be on. They better be on site, bro, because they gonna need it. Because they're gonna be dudes fighting in the stands, rolling down the stairs and falling over chairs and shit, bumping.
That's what they were doing on the Canelo fight.
I know, bro. I mean, you see that shit all in videos all the time, you know. But I mean, I haven't really got into it. This is actually like the second or third time I actually saw this. Usually. I look at the schedule and I kind of predict it. I can kind of go real quick right now. I mean, going through it, it's not going to be in the correct order at all. But I see them losing. You know, maybe. Oh man, maybe one game. I'll let them. I'll say they split against the Eagles. Bro. They're gonna win. I don't know what all the hype is on Washington, bro. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I seen something. Maybe everybody's seeing something I don't see, but I don't. But just for the benefit of the doubt, just because the hype's there, I also go 1-1. 1 win, 1 loss. I think we doubling up the Giants, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we double up the Giants for sure. Carolina, win. Chargers, win. Vikings, man, that's tough. It's actually I'm gonna go ahead and go with dub on that. I think they're gonna lose to Kansas City. They're gonna beat the Raiders. Think they'll beat the Saints. They'll probably lose against the Cardinals. So let me see. Oh, Falcons win. Broncos, depending on what happens, I'll go ahead and give them a win right now. Man, I'm missing like 3 games.
Let's see, what games are you missing? Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now. Obviously, you touched on the Buccaneers, Chargers, Eagles, Panthers, Giants, Patriots, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons, Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, Washington Giants, Washington Cardinals, and Eagles.
Okay, hold up. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say I got them at 13-4. I'm gonna go ahead and say they're 13-4.
That'll be good.
Now, you know what? It's gonna be I want to say 11-6 or 12-5. Only because I have them splitting games against Eagles and Eagles and Washington. And then I see them losing Bucks, Chiefs, and possibly Cardinals. So I give them five losses. Yeah. So I see them at 5 losses. So was that 12-5? Yeah. So I got the Cowboys going 12-5. But man, I think that's enough to win the division. If they're healthy, bro, I think the Cowboys are going to be a problem. I think there's a lot to prove on both sides. I have high expectations for that defense that they assembles. Young defense, but man, hopefully, you know, this puts a fire in that team, and maybe they can do that shit, man. Maybe they can prove people wrong. But you know, of course, we're talking about the Cowboys is a fan question, so we're a little bit biased here, but I truly think so, man. I really do think that if you give this team, man, it's going to be one of them teams that have a high-powered offense. Yeah, their defense might not be there, might not, but man, that offense is going to be one of the hardest offenses to stop.
Yeah,
and hopefully their offensive line holds up, man. But I got Cowboys finishing 12-5. Tough games, but I see them at 12-5.
12-5. I see them going 17-0.
Whoa, bro, get that perfect season. They trying to battle the 72 Dolphins, you know what I'm
saying? But we're gonna win it.
Well, Dolphins won it. The Patriots didn't win it, but
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, man. But
so if you want to say something about next week, I was talking to Smooth Vega earlier, and he had said he called me and he asked me. You know, shout out to Smooth Vegas. He called me and asked me. Yeah. He called me and asked me, you know, everybody knows how big of a Bone Thugs fan I am. Everybody that knows me, at least. So he asked me, right whenever I pretty much answered the phone, what are my top 5 Bone Thugs songs? And that goes for features and, you know, obviously their songs as a group. So if anybody wants to, you know, we'll put something out there. If y'all want to, you know, give us y'all's list, then y'all can. But next week we will be giving our 5 favorites, or our top 5 songs from them. And then we'll be also, and then we'll also be talking about something else with Bone Thugs. But y'all will hear that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, follow us on social media at Ramblin Mob. You know, check out our TikTok, check out our Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Instagram. Listen to us on Spotify.
We're not on Apple Podcast yet for whatever reason. Supposedly that takes the longest.
But hopefully coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully coming soon. And if you are on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also shout out to Jesus and them over at TFTI Podcast. Good people over there. Y'all be sure to follow them as well.
Yeah, man. I'm still waiting for my motherfucking invite, you know? You heard me? I ain't probably got much to speak on, but hey, I would like to be in the building at some point. But nah, man, yeah, shout out to them guys, man. We known them for a long time. Doing music, you know, back in the day. But yeah, man, I mean, man, thanks for y'all, you know, listening and checking in with us. You know, man, more hot shit coming. Y'all want us to talk about certain things, man. Don't be afraid, man. don't be afraid to jump on the social media, man, pages on anywhere you go on. We're gonna check all of them. We'll respond to them. You follow us, we'll follow you back. Things like this, man. It's going down, man. We're gonna try to make this thing. We're gonna try to push this thing worldwide, man. So, man, if any questions or anything like that, man, just go ahead, feel free. Let us know.
There was one more question that just came on my Facebook, and it was from Phil Parker. Best Whataburgers in Fort Worth. Best Whataburgers in Fort Worth.
Hey, you from Fort Worth, man. Hey, best Whataburgers in Fort Worth, man. That's going to be a tough list because I already know some that are on the worst Whataburgers.
On the shit list.
Boy, on the shit list. I'm telling you. And one of them's in the South Side. No disrespect. No disrespect on the South Side, but that Whataburger's trash, yo. But that ain't gonna be on my list of good best Whataburgers in Fort Worth. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us, man. We can go ahead and chunk it up, man. Hey, check us out, man. And any questions, just holler at us. We out.
Yes, sir. All right.